case study number 3, so I'm going to read it first and then discuss the solution, the problem. So, Derek is in the 8th grade. He comes to church on a regular basis on both Fridays and Sundays. However, Derek has a very disruptive behavior in class. He often interrupts the servant in a disrespectful way. He's also very influential on other middle schoolers, so who tend to follow his lead on most of what he does. Derek would also make fun of some of his classmates to the point that a couple of them stopped attending Sunday school because of it. One of the servants approached Derek's parents to talk about his behavior. The mom, however, was in total denial mode, indicating that he is just a little active, while the dad vowed to punish him. The mom then came to the servant saying, "You shouldn't have told the dad, as he is very harsh on him and he beats him severely." Derek, since then, though in church, would not attend Sunday school. When one of the servants asked him why he isn't attending, he said, "I don't want to attend those classes anymore." What would you do, and did anything go wrong? Alright, so based off reading this, we came with multiple problems and a couple of solutions. So the first one is that there is, so when the servant went to the parents and he told them about the bad behavior, there was a trust, like the trust was broken between the servant and the child. So to fix that, we said to try to build a relationship with the child again. So this trust is broken, so the servant has to first fix this brokenness that he caused. So maybe talk to him, take him on an outing, try to take it step by step to rebuild the relationship. Another problem is the child is seeking his identity, so I think that was one of the main problems. So the kid is acting up. He doesn't know where he fits. He doesn't know where he belongs. So he's acting up. He wants to see if I make a joke, will people laugh? So he wants to see where he fits, and he doesn't know his group of people. So what we said is for the servant to show love for him, to show respect, and encourage the kid. And when the kid acts out, don't take it personally. So just like Dr. Naveen said, don't take it personally when the kid acts out, and try to find his talent. So if he's acting out and he doesn't know where he belongs, try to find his talent and guide him through it. Another problem, so parents aren't on the same page. That's a problem. So when the servant went to talk to the parents, his mom was too lenient. She said she was in denial. She said, "Oh, he's just a little active. He's not too bad." And his dad, he was like, "No, we're gonna punish him and we're gonna beat him and whatever." So that's a problem. We suggested that the parents go to counseling. I'm not really sure. Dr. Naveen? He was not treated correctly by the servant and his father. So that's another problem. So, and also more solutions we had was, so we have to, instead of going straight to the parents, we give him maybe warnings, talk to him after class, before class, instead of going straight to the parents. Because when you go straight to the parents, you break that trust you break that relationship. So maybe give him a warning. So we had this debate where whether discipline was important or not. And most of the people agreed that we do need to have discipline and we need to address the issue. Because if you don't, I think John said that maybe he's in the social stage where he has to, he has rules and he has to follow them. And if he's not being punished, and if he talks and he's not being punished, then okay, I'm just gonna keep on talking because I'm not getting any consequences. So I do agree that we do have to set some kind of discipline or boundaries in the class. So, and we also have to address the issue, like Uncle Terry said. We have to maybe call it, so here's the rule that you're not supposed to talk. Why are you talking? This is a rule. Also, one of the very most important solutions that we came up with was Go. So to build that relationship, you have to go visit him, and in your agenda, like Tante Marie said, that you have to tell the parents, like when they if they complain, then you tell them how great he is in a truthful and a graceful way. So yeah, no, he's very good. He's very intelligent, but if he listens a little more, he'd be great. That's what Tante Marie said. This is not on me. This is in the group. I'm just a spokesperson. All right. Yeah. So and then my favorite one was confirm to him that he is worthy. As like the last point, confirm to him that he is worthy and a part of the class. So catch the good. So. Don't always catch the disruptive nature of him, but rather, if he does something good, then like emphasize it and like amplify it. Be like, oh, look, you're doing such a great job. So, like, catch whatever good he's doing and address that too. And I think that's all it is.
Yeah, I thought that was great. You hit on all the points, and I think you addressed the parents and the child and the servants and the group, your whole group.
And we get to
You did. You guys
They were
all
paying
right.
attention. They were paying attention.
They were.
But actually, I think that's a typical case for what we, you know, and those of you who are in middle school, we see that every day. And the case with the parents also, by the way. Some of them, they'll say, oh, my kids are that. And some, you know, are very much in this case. So.
And I was telling them, when we've seen kids this way all along, I turn out to be the best servants.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, group, that was what, three? 1 and 2 wants to go next. Sana? Okay. You're two.
So first, I'll read the case study first. Sam is in 7th grade. He comes to church often with his parents. He, however, rarely attends Sunday school along with other middle schoolers. Even during the liturgy and other church services, he's often seen outside or in one of the classrooms in the basement with other middle schoolers. One of the coordinators was talking to Sam's dad, asking him to encourage his son to attend Sunday school and inquiring about the reason Sam did not go to the most recent retreat. The dad told the coordinator that his son informed him that they only attend either Friday service or Sunday school as the material is repeated. He also indicated that he never knew that they had a retreat. What do you think seems to be the issue and how can it be addressed? So the issues that we identified is our first, peer pressure. So Sam is skipping all the services, whether it's Sunday school or even just the liturgy, with his friends, so there's some peer pressure. The second issue we identified was that they're bored for the services, they don't find them attractive enough, or maybe they just don't know enough about them to find them attractive. So that's the second issue. And the third issue identified is that there's miscommunication between the servants and the parents, and some miscommunication also between the kid and their parents, whether they're lying to them or they're just not being clear with each other. So these are the three issues we identified, and then in order to fix them, we addressed each of them. First, for the peer pressure, we wanted to, first we said that they should start holy habits on retreats and other services that they already partake in, so they just like get in the habit of doing what's right. And then also we wanted them to be encouraged, whether it's with prizes or it's just any kind of reward system. So that's for the peer pressure and to get this boredom out of the services. Also, we told them, we came up saying that we should have lessons to explain the liturgy and keeping Sunday school lessons maybe a little shorter with something more engaging, like more activities, more things that they can be a part of instead of just like a lecture. And for the miscommunication part, we came up with visitations for the whole household because the servants and the parents need to be on the same page in order to get the child to be where they need to be. And also, like, there needs to be an individual communication between the servant and the parent, whether it's with emails, whether it's with meetings after church, but they just need to know what's going on so that they can both work together to get the kid where they want it to be, where they want the kid to be. And for our last point, we decided that we should have some feedback from just the kids to see what they would like to see, what they would find attractive, just to get them to attend. And then they won't really have a reason to say like, oh, we still don't want to attend because we're like pretty much solving their problem. As for what should be done differently to prevent this from happening again, we just said that we should come up with a positive reward system because we want to stay away from punishment because punishment kind of turns them off and it's overall going to make them not like the services or any kind of like church-related activity. So we just wanted to, I guess, catch the good. Build relationships with the youth. So whether it's visitation or just one-on-one relationships between the servants and the kid, and create engaging lessons with engaging curriculums.
I think, and I'm sure how actually honestly we can address this, but with the comment that the parent made that, oh, I didn't know that there was a retreat, many times we hear, honestly, we get copied, Suzanne and I, on all the emails that go from the ministries to the parents. And so there is thorough communication. However, how can we get the parents to open the email, to know what's going on in their kids' life? So, it's probably what we need to work on is some sort of a parent education kind of thing. And that's something that Abuna, I think we need to work on. And it's important that to get the parents to feel that it's not because the kids are in church, no, it's truly an ownership thing.
We need a reward too, we can take.
Probably a reward system will work, David.
And you know what, Ayman, you're absolutely right. And it goes on both ways. We have some parents who really push their kids with no knowledge and with no actually a good concept. You have to go, you have to go. And they push them to the extent the kids will say, no, why are you pushing me to? So we have to have the balance. They have to know ahead what's happening, and they have to have the right balance to get the kids to do the right thing without pushing them and without letting them to do. So it goes on both sides. We have to have just the right, stay in the middle, stay the right balance.
Right. Okay, so group number one.
There's a comment.
So
Yeah.
some parents said that they get so many emails like from elementary, middle, high, and the church in general, and then they stop opening them because there are too many to read.
They should have less kids. If they have kids in three.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yes, one of the parents once said, they were making a comment and they said we didn't know, and I said, okay, I thought that it was an email was sent. He said, who opens emails? So I don't know honestly what do we do if you send someone,
We
to
make a
knock on
hard
the door.
copy and we post it also, so we make, like whatever we're advertising for retreat or anything else, we make a hard copy and we post it on the wall. They're going to the kitchen so they can see it, so it's there.
Yeah, this is very helpful.
So
This
if
is
you
good
even
too.
don't have
Yeah.
time to open an email, at least there is a hard copy everywhere. We hand out hard copy with the kids and say, make sure your dad and mom are aware of it. So there is a different way of communication, so the email is hard.
If it's an important letter, send it to the kid and something.
Yeah, several ways we have to.
We did a Facebook group also for the parents. So parents are all time on social media, Facebook, so we have that group also. And they do check their Facebook, so.
We know that.
All right, group one.
So, we were case study 1. Dina is a newcomer to our church. Her family recently came from Egypt. She's in 8th grade. Was supposed to be in the 9th grade, but due to differences in the education system, she was downgraded 1 year in school. She has only one younger brother in the 3rd grade. Her dad and mom work casual jobs and are out of the house most of the time. Dina often attends the liturgy on Sundays with her parents, but she does not attend Sunday school classes or activities. When approached by one of the middle school servants, she seemed not interested in attending. One of the coordinator talked to her mom to convince her to attend, but her mother said that she asked her and she does not want to. Dina was recently seen walking back to school with a non-Christian girl, a newcomer from Egypt, along with that girl's older brother. What would you do? So we identified several issues. One, Dina being a newcomer and all that entails, being things like culture shock, language barrier, being lonely and homesick, and not feeling welcome sometimes. We also identified her busy parents as some issue, not of itself, but that maybe perhaps she lacks some guidance. We also identified that she's in that stage where she is forming her identity, and perhaps in the midst of this chaos, she's not being able to do such thing, and she might be feeling somewhat inferior because of it. These are some of the issues that we were able to see. The root cause analysis, we were able to sum in things such as identity formation, that she doesn't feel welcome, isolation, things, the language barrier and culture shock, and perhaps some financial stability. For the detailed action plan, we thought that perhaps servants should reach out to the girl and help her make friends. They should connect to her and make her feel special. To plan inclusion activities to get other kids to know her better, because otherwise kids tend to form cliques. To plan visitations and perhaps to help the parents as much as the Dina herself, and reach out to people that are able to help the parents. To provide support when needed. So if she needs rides, if for retreat, for example, when she needs some sort of like payments, waivers, and such. And to educate current families to not only include the kids, but also to include the new families as whole. And finally, just spread awareness when making friends, and this is a delicate issue because it can backfire. Parents should address this with their kids, but not in a negative way as to push them back, but rather to enable them to make decisions on their own, like the right decision on their own. So, that's pretty much.
Very good point.
Thanks. We get a lot of this.
Yeah. But this is a delicate problem here. The issue of having a non-Christian friend with her brother. How to deal with this, with the parents, without the parents feeling offended, or feeling that you anticipate that they did not raise up their child good enough, or even be suspicious in their child of their child, and maybe attack her and try to boycott her from her friend, and then issues will happen with the one she's trusting and having comfort with. So how can you deal with that? Because
And I think that actually applies to all three cases, because in both cases, in all three, I feel like it's so easy to involve the parents too early in the case versus actually approaching the child themselves and having that conversation. I mean, just from observing that they were walking home from school with these two people, we really don't know anything. we may be making all of these assumptions about this child without actually knowing what's happening. And if we go immediately to the parents, it's kind of stirring up a lot of conflict that may not need to be there. So in the best scenario, in all three cases, if you actually just went to the child and had the conversation with them individually, you would not only build the relationship, and you wouldn't break the trust by kind of going behind them and going to the parents. I mean, you're kind of being tattletales in all three if you do that. That's not the picture you want to leave them with. And so, if you go up to her, to Dina, and say, so how are things going at school? Tell me a little bit about your friends. Is there a way you could build some friendships at church? And just open the dialogue so that she can feel comfortable having that conversation. Same with Sam. Instead of going to his dad and saying, why didn't he go to the retreat? Well, go to Sam and say, why didn't you go to the retreat? Have that conversation first. Don't involve dad just yet until it really is a problem where it's no longer within the reach of having a conversation with them. And then, same with Derek too. I would be really disappointed in a servant who did that, because you don't just go to the parent and complain because the kid gave you a difficult time in class. Have that conversation with them. I've noticed you keep disrupting me. What's going on? What can I do to help you? Is it really hard for you to keep your comments? Is there a way we could get you to share these comments in a more productive way? I want to hear from you. It sounds like you have a lot to say, but let's make sure that there's space for you to say it, rather than, telling his dad and then him having to suffer some consequences that probably aren't the best. And what's that?
What if the kid is not responsive?
That was
Not
my-
responsive to you?
Like
Yeah.
you're doing everything you can, but they're not being respectful, they're not listening, they're not just
Yeah, I think you have to keep with the effort in trying, continue trying to show them that care, and I'm gonna respect you. Right, until you reach that point where you feel like, I really do think that involving the parents is gonna be more productive. And if you do choose to involve the parents, I would make sure both parents are there, because you don't wanna get triangulated into their relationship. Because if they're having conflict between the two of them, they have different opinions, they're in a different place, you don't want to be stuck in the middle of that. You're going to get feedback from mom this way and feedback from dad that way. You do not want to be in the middle. I mean, imagine how much in the middle this kid probably feels too. If you're just getting a little dose of that, they're getting so much more. Well, don't tell dad, blah, 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 and, oh, your mother, da, da, da. They're probably having their own difficulties. And so I would sit both parents down and have that conversation. And have Derek be there too.
And I wanted to add one thing to what you said, Dean. The big part of navigating the problem is the servant itself. Like if I'm a servant coming, and we discussed this now, if I'm a servant coming from the classroom every Sunday complaining about my kids, it shows one way or the other way while I'm interacting with them, while I'm interacting with spirits. So number one, we have to stop complaining. Number two, we have to keep loving and appreciating and really seek the good in everyone, and then deal with things in a mature way and not jump in and go and talk to parents. Counsel with somebody else who's
Right.
been through this before. Be patient. Try different things.
Right.
Like this is, I think this is very important.
And if it isn't working for you, have another servant who can come with you, or who can approach them as well instead. Yeah.
I think it's important part of, we're all servant, but I think it's the coordinator know the personality of each servant and what they can handle and what they cannot handle. So if you have like a shy kid or something like that, I think who's the servant we can easy going, so you can get that servant approach that kid. And if you have another kid who is very active or doesn't wanna listen, I think it's wise enough to pick the right servant with the right personality to approach that kid before even getting the parents involved. So.
Because the reason I'm saying that is that sometimes when you deal with it and then somehow the parents find out, the problems comes back to someone. They take it personal. Yes, you're doing your part. I'm not speaking from experience, I'm just from personal experience, but I'm saying what could happen. That you're trying and you've done, something to correct something with their kids, then they find out from either the parent or the kid or something, and they come back to you and they're like, I'm the mother, why did you talk to me? And so their reaction will either make the kid to be more, difficult, or even to be like, you know what, you mean nothing. My mom saying, something different. So that's why I was wondering, at what point do you involve the parent so that things don't escalate in another way, and then you become like you don't have any support from the parent, and you also don't win the kid.
You're saying if the parents find out from a different
From a
place?
different place, without
And then they're
having
upset
that-
at you for doing what you're
Because
doing?
you've been trying to deal with it without involving them, and then somehow they find out
Yeah.
from other kids, either
And
the
so they're
friends,
mad
the
and they
kid.
say, and they're like, why didn't you tell me that
Yeah, they,
he was
they
disrupting
like
class?
deal with it, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they deal with it in a defensive way, like
Yeah.
not understanding
in a
that
helpful
as a
way.
servant, I know what you, because my child could be another way with me at home,
Right.
but he's different in
Right.
class. So I trust what you're telling me because he
Right.
is what he is in class with you.
Right. I would set that, and we're going to talk about boundaries, but I would set that boundary. If I felt it was a problem, I would have been more than happy to come and share it with you. For now, I think it's under control. Yeah, there may be some issues happening, but we're all working on it. And he's a really hard worker, and I'm really proud of him. He's come a long way from where he once was. And, I will be sure to let you know if it ever becomes a problem that I would like your help with. I mean, that's kind of setting the boundary with the parent to let them know, it's my class and I'll take care of it. And if I need your help, I'll let you know. And they need some of those boundaries.
I just want to clarify something that Dr. Naveen was saying earlier when she said when you have one of those kids who are disruptive in class and go and talk to him, I strongly recommend, and correct me if I'm wrong, Naveen, don't talk. He's going to push back and he's going to be more disruptive if you try to address it in front of the class. Take that one-on-one. And by the way, I, at least personally, have never seen a kid who is disrespectful on a one-on-one.
Yes.
They will do that to show off in front of other kids in the class, but if you take him on a one-on-one outside of the situation, not while the situation is happening and pull him aside, what are you doing? No. Just, take the time, schedule time with him to go for visitation and go sit down with him or her. That you're gonna see a totally different person when you go and sit down with him. And guess what? Make him feel that, as Dr. Naveen said, that you value him. But you know what? That's not the way to do this. And he wants to show off. Give him some responsibility in the class and tell him, okay, you know what? I think you are great at this or you are good at this. Why don't you help with this? And okay, now he is showing off, in something that builds. So, but don't try to address it in front of the class. He's going to be more disruptive, he or she.
Absolutely.
I have another question. And then at what point do you involve, not the parents, like Abuna?
Abuna will answer.
Coordinators before.
I think it's...
From an experience I had. And it was actually more of a reaction, and I learned from that experience once in class where he was really being very belligerent. And I was like, you cannot continue behaving like this because you're disrupting the whole class. We are here, all of us, to learn, and we cannot just concentrate on saying stop throughout the class. So at the end of the lesson, what do? I speak to Abuna.
Yeah. Can I say
My
something?
Abuna, not my
Yeah.
husband. Abuna Shinuga.
Yeah.
So the kid reacts the
Yeah.
next time, and I learned my lesson. So the kid was like, the next time I see him and he's like not talking, and I tried to talk to him later on. At that moment, Abuna handled it. But then later on, the following week, I see the kid and he's still not happy. And then he goes like, never, ever, ever take me to Abuna again before. But you see, I had reached a point where I really did not know how else I can deal with you. I'll just take you to the police, and that's what he said.
So, I'm going to say something, but Naveen, correct me here. Okay, we don't want the Abunas to be the Baba. Sorry for it. Yeah, we don't want the Abunas to be, okay, you know what? We don't want to create that barrier. We don't want the Abuna will be the punishment. No, we don't. We want them to love to go to Abuna for counseling. So I would suggest, and if that behavior continues, you tell him, you know what, you probably need to talk to Abuna, your father of confession, about this. Ask him. So have him go with that to his father of confession. Tell him, okay, do you confess? Who's your father of confession? Abuna Amina or Abuna Shnuda. Okay, why don't you talk to him? Instead of us taking him, come, Abuna, look. No, you know, guess what? For him, that office will be that. Oh my God, this is the.
And then Abuna would give him a hug.
I am sharing that is someone else not to go through the same, because after that I had to like actually like mend what I had created, because
Yeah.
yes, I realized that was not, like I was trying to like make the situation better at that moment for me, but it was not the best solution. So it's just like sharing so that someone else does not repeat the same mistake,
Right.
because the Abuna is not the police.
Right. Abuna wants to say something.
I think guys when came to me like embarrassed. I think they are not afraid for me, but embarrassed for me.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
and I didn't take with them like punishment or something stuff like that. No,
Yeah.
I gave them. I told them, don't repeat this situation anymore, please.
Yeah.
That's it. But not Baba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That was great. How was what do you think? Was that helpful? We're going to actually have 2 more of those workshops, inshallah. Yani. Whoever presented the first time, we need more people to present, so I guess we're going to have a lot more people presenting, inshallah.